Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first of our Team's Top Tips webinar series. So basically, we wanted to touch on some of our favorite hotels in the Maldives and for all these different various reasons. So the first topic obviously is going to be House Reefs. And also it's a great opportunity for you guys to meet some of the reservations team members, people that you may have not met before, and able to put some faces to names. So yeah, today we've got Sarah, who's our Global Head of Reservations, joining us, Claudia, who's our Assistant Manager of Reservations, Tony, who's one of our Senior Travel Consultants, and Seb, who's one of our Travel Consultants. So yeah, hope you enjoy. And if you do have any problems hearing me or hearing anybody, or just in general seeing things, then do let me know. So obviously a lot of you will know a lot about the Maldives, and as a destination, it's obviously very well known for its amazing marine life. So there are hundreds of beautiful reefs with amazing dive sites. Obviously, a lot of them are around the hotels themselves, which is what we call a house reef, which encompasses the island, or it's on sort of part of an island. And then other amazing dive sites and reefs kind of nearby. So even if your clients have booked a hotel which doesn't have a house reef, there will be a really beautiful reef very close by that the hotel will offer excursions to and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, always beautiful dive sites and reefs nearby. Obviously, a lot of people go to the Maldives specifically to see the marine life. So there are literally hundreds of species of fish. Obviously, there are the main ones that people tend to see in the reefs, like the Oriental sweetlips, wrasses, triggerfish, batfish, parrotfish, lionfish, which actually I saw for the first time a couple of weeks ago when I was in the Maldives. Obviously the anemone fish, which kind of look a little bit like clownfish, and yeah, various other lots of different fish species. Other things that you're able to see in the reefs will be turtles, a little bit harder to see turtles sometimes, but yeah, still obviously very possible. Loads of people see them, tend to be on their own as well, which is really cute. Eels, which can be enormous. I actually saw a moray eel as well the other day, which was about this thick, so they're kind of creepy looking. And then yeah, reef sharks, obviously, octopus, and then the two big ones, manta rays and whale sharks. So this is something that we obviously always get loads of questions on. Manta rays have certain seasons that you tend to see them a bit more. So for manta rays, May to November tends to be the most typical time to see like big groups of them. Obviously, the main place to see manta rays, as many of you will know, is Bar Atoll, which is where the UNESCO World Biosphere Reserve is, called Hanifaru Bay. But to be honest, it's possible to see manta rays in lots of different areas of the Maldives, sometimes not in huge numbers that you can see in Hanifaru Bay, but still in, you know, quite big numbers in other places, and yeah, even sometimes by themselves. And it's also possible to see them outside of the season dates as well. Now the whale shark is the other very, very popular one to see in the Maldives, but a little bit more elusive. So tends to also be by themselves. Very popular to be seen in South Ari Atoll, and the season dates typically are December to April, but again, it is possible to see them outside of these dates and in certain other areas of the Maldives, but yeah, just not as easy to see sometimes as the whale sharks. So without further ado, I'm going to go now into the House Reef section. So sitting next to me, because we're in the office today, so we're doing a bit more of like a live show, we've got Sarah, who's our Global Head of Reservations. So I'll move the screen over to her to give a little rundown of Sarah and her history with the company.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Liv, for the great introduction. So yeah, I'm Global Head of Reservations based here in London. I've worked for Hummingbird for about 6 years now, just past that, and I've been very lucky to be able to go to, as I said, 31 of our properties over in the Maldives. So managed to see quite a few of the amazing house reefs and see a lot of our product. I've also been very lucky to see all of our destinations in the Indian Ocean, which has been pretty amazing. So they all offer something different, but obviously today is about house reefs, so very happy to talk about that. Snorkeling is probably one of my favorite things to do when I'm in the Maldives. I'm very active. I always love to go either diving or snorkeling, and I think some of these places are incredible. So I'll talk a little bit more about some of my favorite house reefs. A really amazing one for me is Maldives. So Maldives is, I mean, for me, it's a beautiful property. It's very small, boutique. It's really very romantic as well. I was staying in one of their water villas with pool. For me, the room itself is incredible. It's very light and bright, but the pools outside are incredible. They really are huge. You can do proper lengths in them, and it's such a relaxed feeling on the property. It is the kind of place, it is a sort of barefoot luxury, but it's not as rustic as some of the other properties, let's say Six Senses, for example. The food there is probably, again, one of the highlights. They have an amazing restaurant called Pathelli, which is on a sort of Adoni-style boat over the water, and it's one of the only proper Maldivian and Sri Lankan restaurants that they have in the Maldives. So they have an amazing menu there, great set menu, which is brilliant. What I think is really impressive about Maldives is their house reef you can access straight from the beach villas. So you go straight out from the water. It's very easy to get to. You're there within sort of 30 seconds of swimming, which I think is great. And it really is stunning. It's very, very impressive. Bar Atoll anyway is a UNESCO biosphere, so you have incredible marine life in this part of in this atoll anyway. But it's this huge drop off, and you can swim all the way across where the beach villas are located. So if you really love snorkeling, beach villas I think are probably one of my go-tos to stay to there, because you can just go straight out from the room, straight there. And also they are even more impressive, I'd say, than the water villas, even though they are incredible. I was able to see black-tip reef sharks. I was able to see, I did actually get to see turtles there on the house reef as well, and just huge amounts of different types of fish. So it was really easy and it was great. I also was really impressed by the health of the reef, and I think that's actually a really important part to talk about. It's not something that happened. There's a lot of reefs, obviously, from the bleaching that did happen. It's incredible to see such well-maintained and healthy-looking reef. There is lots of it that's alive. There's still colour. So I think if you want to have a great sort of diving or just snorkeling experience, Maldives for me is a brilliant one to go to. So yeah, that's right. I'd say it's probably everything about Maldives. So
Wonderful, thank you, Sarah. So now we have Claudia joining us. So Claudia is our assistant head of reservations, and we'll be first chatting a little bit about Claudia's history with Hummingbird, and then her favorite house reef. So here we go.
Hi everyone. So I'm Claudia, and as Olivia said, I am the assistant reservations manager of the team here. I've been with Hummingbird for around 4 years, and in that time managed to see a whole range of different properties. And yeah, they're all so different, have their different personalities to them. So it's always hard to pick which is your absolute favorite. But yeah, I mean, it's all down to personal preference, I feel. For me, I'm really into snorkeling and diving, especially. That's something that I'm really keen on. So for me, a good house reef, although it is always a great benefit, I feel like sometimes even if a resort hasn't necessarily got a house reef, doesn't mean you haven't got incredible diving, just like a short boat trip ride away. So there's lots of options for all clients and all different tastes and for what people are looking for. So my top house reef that I'm going to be going to talk about a little bit more is the Park Hyatt. So this property is quite far south, so you have to get a domestic flight to the island, and the island itself is very, very small. So it's, I would say, definitely aimed more for couples or families who kind of want to spend time with each other, because there isn't a kids club on the island itself. So definitely not for younger families, more like teenagers who kind of want to explore water activities and that kind of thing. But it is a very, very sweet island. The dining options are amazing, and it's some of the most incredible sand I've seen in the Maldives. It's literally like walking on flour at some point areas. It's so soft, it's incredible. So their House Reef, as it is quite far south, it's very untouched and very healthy. It's also the entire way around the island. So from whatever area you are staying on the property, you can like snorkel either from the beach, from your villa, or you can go from the arrival jetty. There's also is where they kind of highlight. You can go in from there, and there's a beautiful stretch there. But you could literally enter the water from any point and see incredible, like lots of fish, healthy corals, turtles. We saw some sharks on the reef as well. So there's a real mix of different options that you can see, no matter whether you're a strong swimmer or just wanting to have a look from your villa. You can also see quite a lot from the water villas in particular. So it's a really special island, I think, for seeing the wildlife, that's for sure.
Wonderful, thank you, Claudia. So also, I know we always say this every time, but do feel free to ask us questions whenever, if you have any questions about any of the properties, and yeah, I can let you know on that. So now I'm going to introduce to you Tony, who's our senior travel consultant, and she'll chat a bit about herself too.
Hi all, I'm Tony, also Antonia, so I go by both if you know me by either one. I've been at Hummingbird for close to 3 years now, and I've had the privilege to go to the Maldives quite a few times. I've seen quite a lot of properties from being at Hummingbird and also from one of my previous roles. Yeah, I mean, as Claudia and Sarah sort of touched upon, there's so many different resorts, so many different styles. We also all have our favourites. So one of my favourites I actually went to this year in May was Intercontinental, and it was one of those hotels that actually really took me by surprise, just because I wasn't really sure what to expect. But one of the real big standout things for me was their House Reef. So the property is located in the Ra Atoll. It's a really quick 35-minute seaplane from Male, and it's a really beautiful natural island. They do have sort of a man-made section as well, just off the main island, which is where they have their lagoon villas. But it's quite a nice area for families because they've got a really beautiful flat lagoon in that part, with beach there as well. So it's a great option for families and also for couples, because what they also have is an adults only area called The Retreat, which has an adults only pool, bar and everything. So if you're a couple wanting somewhere that's a little bit quieter, then that works really well. But also you've got an amazing kids club, so it's a perfect setup for families. And I would say it's probably one of the best lagoons I've been to in the Maldives. It's absolutely massive. And they have a manta season which runs from November through till around April. So it's the opposite of the Hanafaru Bay season, and actually because the lagoon is so massive at Intercontinental, they very often have mantas swimming through their lagoon. So if you go sort of in actually the high season, you're, I would say guaranteed, but there's a very good chance of seeing mantas, which I think is a massive bonus and a real big USP of the hotel. In terms of the House Reef, it's just located off their spa, and it goes sort of around 2 sections of the island. And I was really surprised. It was super healthy, considering it's not in a busy location by any stretch, but I think a lot of the places, have suffered really from coral bleaching and that kind of thing. But the reef at Intercontinental was super healthy, lots of colourful, healthy coral, and so many fish. I couldn't believe the amount of fish I saw there. I was actually been lucky to see an octopus, which is really rare, especially during the daytime. And it was very friendly, actually. It stayed with us pretty much the entire snorkel. And yeah, we got to see it change colours and all that kind of stuff. It was, yeah, absolutely unbelievable. And they also offer night snorkeling there on their House Reef, which is very cool. So you see all the nighttime fish come out, which is obviously a complete different kettle of fish to the daytime fish. So yeah, definitely an excellent option. I think one that people don't often think about. So definitely want to keep on your radar.
Wonderful, thank you. And yeah, next we'll have Seb, who is actually one of our remote workers. So he lives in the south of England. So he is going to be coming on remotely. But yeah, Seb, if you can hear me, then are you able to turn on your microphone and chat a bit about yourself? Are you there, Seb?
I am here. Sorry, I'm just waiting
there we go.
for the video to open up.
Wonderful. Okay, well,
Yes,
I'm handing over to Seb.
thank you very much. I am here with Hummingbird for the past sort of 2 years, but previous to that, I have been in the luxury travel industry for many, many years. I don't want to give away my age, but I have been to the Maldives a few times and seen quite a few of the especially the top level properties, which I'm very fortunate to have done. The properties, I mean, I have been to all of our destinations apart from Sri Lanka, but Maldives is one that really is my favorite. I just love everything about it, from the service to the hotels to the friendly atmosphere, and even going with my 2-year-old Reese most recently, I've found that it's actually a really good family destination as well. So going on to my favorite house reef, and one of my favorite properties is Six Senses Lamu. It is located further south in the Lamu Atoll, and it's the only luxury property in that atoll. So there's a lot less noise pollution, a lot less air pollution. It used to be serviced only by domestic flight and speedboat, but most recently, this month, it started its own seaplane. So it takes 65 minutes now directly from Male. It is Six Senses branded, but it's not a VIP seaplane, so it still fits on 15 people, but it is just direct to Six Senses and back again. The property itself is amazing in terms of sustainability. They make their own water, they purify their own water on the island, and they carbonate it all. I think it's about 80% of their waste they actually recycle on the island, which is amazing. And also they educate the locals and go to local islands to educate school children all about sustainability, but also about the marine life as well. So it kind of helps the surrounding areas know what to look for and how to sort of behave to ensure that the corals and marine life are really well protected. They also have a young marine biology program, which is amazing. So when you go there with, well, if you send families there, then the children can get involved and learn so much about the reef and the marine life. It just adds another section to their holiday, and it's something that is really memorable as well. Going on to the reef, it is located just on the, so if you look at the picture at the bottom, there's the overwater restaurant and a bar area, so nice relaxing. But you just pop off the side there with your snorkeling gear, and it just runs across there. Because you're further away, the reef is probably the most colourful that I've ever seen in the Maldives. Bleaching didn't really happen down this far. It is really incredible to see how healthy it all is, and because of that, the marine life is thriving here. Loads and loads of different fish, eagle rays swimming around everywhere, reef sharks, turtles galore, really. I was staying in an overwater villa and had turtles just swimming past as well, because there's really good amounts of seagrass in the lagoon. So they come and have a bit of lunch and then swim off again. But the amount of diverse marine life is just incredible. And most recently as well, they have had manta rays swim past. You can be sat there having lunch and just see a load of pods of dolphins swimming past. So it really is a spectacular place.
Wonderful, thank you, Seb. So actually, we've had someone ask about the House Reef rating, which I apologize, I should have clarified at the beginning for those who aren't aware. So the way that in the past we've done House Reef ratings isn't to do with, it's out of 4, and it isn't to do with the quality of the reef, it's to do with how much of the island it stretches around. So, for example, 4 would mean it's totally all-encompassing. So it's a 360 degree reef. And then 2 obviously is around half of the island, so that's 180. And then in this case, it's 1, which is 90 degrees, so one quarter of the island. But again, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's not pertaining to the quality of the reef. Obviously, with Six Senses Lamu, it's one that pretty much everyone at Hummingbird considers to be one of the best, if not the best, reefs in the Maldives. But yeah, it just sort of sits on one particular side of the island. So yeah, that's basically how we've always done House Reef ratings in the past. But I think moving forward, because it is something that people do often question, or if they're not quite sure, it can be a bit confusing. So I think in the future, we'll probably come up with a new system of how to rate the reefs. But yeah, if you do see anything with that kind of explanation, that is why. So yeah, and basically we also wanted to give some special mentions because obviously the team have spoken about their 4 favorite reefs, but there are still a number of other very, very good reefs in the Maldives that are just as good. Sorry. So obviously Suniva Fushi, very, very famous, also in Bar Atoll. Again, Suniva Fushi's reef is similar to Six Senses, where it's kind of on one side mainly, and yeah, really, really high quality, really, really great reef. Also, there's Barros in North Mali Atoll. So obviously, you wouldn't normally have that many reefs that are close to Mali Airport that are sort of high quality in terms of health, but Barros definitely has a really beautiful, very healthy reef. Anatariki Harbour, very hard not to mention, has to be one of the best as well, up there with Six Senses. Also, because they have the underwater restaurant called Sea, you can literally see a lot of the reef, literally right up against, obviously, the glass where the restaurant is, and it is absolutely amazing. So many colours, so many fish and different marine species. Duzatani, which is one that I think is a hotel that kind of flies under the radar sometimes, which people maybe don't know about that much. And yeah, also in Bar Atoll, I was actually there a few weeks ago and I was absolutely blown away by the reef. It's a 360 degree reef, so it goes around the whole outside of the island, and yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I saw so many different species of fish and eels and turtles and all that kind of stuff. So really, really amazing, and definitely one at like a lower price point as well when you compare to other Bar Atoll properties, which tend to be quite high in price. Then obviously a Miller Maldives, very close by to Duzatani, amazing drop off, amazing, like you can literally look from the water villas straight down at the drop off and just see all the amazing marine life going past. So that's another good one to mention. Nautilus, again in Bar Atoll, there's obviously a bit of a theme here with amazing House Reefs, but I mean, as we said before, Bar Atoll is one of the best places for marine life, also because of the biosphere. So yeah, Nautilus also has an amazing House Reef, really beautiful property as well, one of the top properties in the Maldives. Purawali, which is, yeah, beautiful property in Lavignani Atoll. It's part of the same group as like Kadadu, and Karedu and Kamandu, all those kind of properties. But Hurawali is like a good medium level 5-star property with a great reef. And then obviously Baglioni also has a 360-degree house reef, really beautiful and healthy. Raffles further down south, beautiful house reef, smaller property, probably comparable to Park Hyatt in terms of the size and kind of the feel of the island. Dawa Ihuru, which is lower level property, but definitely a good one to mention for people that have a lower budget. So Dawa Ihuru is in North Malé Atoll, and it's quite close to like the Banyan Tree property, and it's part of the same brand. Really small island, very intimate, kind of a similar vibe as Makunadu, if anyone knows that property as well, also North Malé Atoll. So it's a really good option for those on a slightly lower budget, also would prefer a speedboat transfer, something quite quick to get to. Very good for like couples, maybe like middle age as well. It's very sort of yeah, kind of traditional style, really beautiful option. And also Jumeirah Maldives, I wanted to throw this one in there because it's, again, it's not super well known in terms of its reef. It's quite a newish property, which actually it's taken over. They took over the island, which used to have Lux North on it. And they actually do have a really good house reef, which I was very surprised by, and it's a really beautiful product, really amazing service. So I definitely wanted to just throw that one in there because another great North Malé Atoll option for the reef. So that's the end. So I hope you enjoyed a slightly different webinar this week, but I think it's quite nice for everyone to put faces to names of the team and hear a bit about our favorite properties, because as you probably all know, Hummingbird puts a lot of time and effort into trying to get all our team members out to all our destinations. Of course, we do also sell amazing other countries like Mauritius, Seychelles, Sri Lanka, and the Caribbean, which we've recently added. But Maldives is probably our #1 product in terms of yeah, how much revenue we put through to the Maldives, and how many times the team goes out there, which is literally all the time. A lot of our team members go like twice a year, and for very long trips, which have, you know, multiple properties. So we're constantly making sure that everyone in our team is updated on the latest products, and just trying to see as many properties as possible so that we can give you the best advice for everything. So yeah, just trying to make sure that we stay at the top of our game with being the Maldives experts, which we definitely are. So yeah, if there's no more questions, then definitely can send me an email afterwards, or you can email our reservations team if you have any inquiries for particularly Special House Reef property, or if you want any marketing products or anything like that, you can email our marketing team. And yeah, I've actually just seen that someone's written about, they have a request for Fairmont. So yeah, Fairmont also does have a really nice reef. So yeah, definitely get in touch with our team, and we can send you some quotes and yeah, some more information on the Fairmont to the addresses below. So yeah, thanks again everybody for joining us today, and we hope to see you at our next one. Bye.
Bye.